What was Sky thinking? Genuine question. What is it? Maybe it's my age. Maybe it's my lack of understanding. They use words I'm going to get onto later. I actually had to Google. Didn't know what they meant. So I understand that I'm not the target market. And I understand that there are different audiences for different content. My children watch YouTube, and the people that make that content are not aiming it at a 39-year-old man. I get and I understand it. But you know what those children creators do? They don't speak to my children like they're stupid. They don't speak to my children like they're not going to understand the content. Is it a sophisticated sort of geopolitical debate? No, right? It isn't. But it's entertaining. It's for children. It's made for children, but it isn't condescending. And it's why, whether you're a children's TV presenter, content creator, nursery nurse, whoever it may be, pediatrician, the reason why those people are so successful working with children is because they have an ability to communicate with children in a way that is not condescending, but is understanding. And for me, that's what Sky Sports and Halo have got so wrong here. I think it's absolutely fine if you want to create content that is more targeted towards women, especially younger women. You want to introduce new people to sport. You want to get more eyes watching the beautiful games and sports that we play and watch as fans. Again, there's nothing wrong in that. The only people that would find something wrong in that are people that are bad of mind. And I will say, I don't think Sky have attempted to be cruel, nasty, or horrible, but it's landed very poorly. This, for me, is one of the most misogynistic and sexist things I've ever seen. Again, I don't think there's been ill will behind it. Maybe some people disagree with me. Maybe some people think it's amazing, but I've got to say what I think. As a content creator, I think it's important to speak out about this, a content creator in the sporting space. And the reason I say that is because we've had so many brilliant content creators that have come through the Football Terrace who are women. They happen to be women. And there's a reason I say that, and I'll come back to it later. Okay? And I would like you to like and share this video. Don't worry about subscribing. Just like and share and hype up, because I want to try and get this message out there. One, I think it's important. Two, if I'm wrong, I need to be told as well. Okay? The reason why I think it's important to mention that is when I want to bring content creators onto my show, I never think I need a woman to come on. Equally, I don't think I need a man to come on. I'm looking for football fans, because I only talk football on the Football Terrace by and large, on my actual shows, and I want people to come on that have a good understanding of football, that maybe are a little bit quirky and a little bit funny, but have a good understanding of the game. I want people to come on who are going to, challenge and, maybe, shake the apple cart a little bit with their opinions and sort of challenge other people. I want it. But I couldn't care less if I had a panel full of men or a panel full of women. I don't care if my panel is full of men from the Caribbean, men from Africa, men from Asia, men from England, men from France, men from America. I don't care. I don't care where the women are from. I don't care if we have a big mixture. I don't care if it's all one group, one box. I don't like the box thing anyway. I'm someone who pushes back against all that bollocks as well. For me, I just treat people as I find them. And if I like individuals, if they're good at what they do, I will always give them a chance and an opportunity irrespective. Of course, you create a place as best you can that's inclusive from the sense of, would Laura Kirk Francis is back on the show and somebody tells her to get back into the kitchen, of course I'm going to shut that down instantly without a shadow of a doubt. But am I going to warn anybody beforehand? No, because I'm not going to patronize anybody. And that's why this shocks me so much. I didn't think Sky would be so tone deaf, so utterly ridiculous in a way to try and attract a new, younger, predominantly female audience. I know, pink, yellow, purple. Woo! Why? And in fact, when you actually look at what they post, and actually some of the captions are there. I'm actually going to put them back up on big. I've pressed the wrong button. When you actually look at some of these captions, I don't even understand what they're trying to do. Now, maybe it's because I'm old, right? And that's where you guys will come in. Oh, you don't get it, Terry. But there's one on the right here, which is Erling Haaland running through on goal. Now it says how the matcha and hot girl walk combo hits. Now I'm assuming this is my old age. Don't be ageist, right? Don't be ageist. That's some type of tea, right? And if I'm wrong, if I'm that wrong, I'm in trouble, right? I have no idea what a hot girl walk is. I assume, this is honestly an assumption, I assume a hot girl walk is, I don't know. I don't even know what I think a hot girl walk is, but either way, the reason why I look at that and I think to myself, and by the way, this content isn't aimed at me, but I know it hasn't landed with women either because of the reaction online. But it's a case of, it feels like they're aiming at people that will understand what a hot girl walk is and a combo with a matcha, but probably have Sky here are sort of assuming that they'll have very little knowledge of the goal and the celebration and just like it and go, oh, that was pretty. And I look at the writing, with everything's pink and everything's purple. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with pink and purple. I like a bit of pink and purple in my own life. I used to love wearing a pink Ben Sherman when I was younger. I loved it. Real men wear pink, right? That was a phrase my dad used to say when he bought me it. But I didn't mind it. I liked it. I drive a bright yellow car, all right? I like bright colors. That's me. Although I'm sitting here. Although T-shirts, I like dark blue and black, but that's just me. But like, I look at it and just think, I think back to the terrace for a moment. And I think back to every single female content creator that I've worked with or know of. And I think about some of the recent names that have come out. You've got the Nottingham Forest fan, Ellie. I want to say her name is Mollison. I forget surnames wrong. I really apologize. Ellie Mollison, fantastic. Doesn't need pink Care Bear-esque pictures and graphics to connect to football. Wants to be respected, talking about football, period. And she should be, and she is fantastic. You've got the non-league element where you have Charlotte's Kramali, who is just absolutely smashing it in the non-league and the lower level podcast at the moment. Again, just through talent, just through understanding. You have Laura Kirk-Francis, who I personally think is one of the most talented content creators in the entire space. And she really sprung to mind when I saw this because I felt she's an individual that this is who Sky should be employing. Laura is who Sky should be employing. And if I had the money, if the Football Terrace had the money Sky had, she'd become my managing director tomorrow. Understands football, understands sport on a high level, can talk about it in detail, but also understands the modern day culture, social media, and could merge the two together brilliantly. And my view is you can make things pink and purple, but there has to be a connection to the sport with the captions that you're putting in. But it's all just very much like, it reminds me of, you know how people, I love this movie, by the way. You know how people disregarded, I don't remember the name of the character, but Reese Witherspoon's character in, was it Clueless? No, Legally Blonde. It wasn't Clueless where she became a lawyer. In Legally Blonde. And how people kind of disrespected her because she liked pink. That's how this Halo makes me feel. In real life, it's, oh, we need to attract more female women. Let's just put out nonsense captions on against, they're not nonsense, they mean something, but against this bit of content, they don't mean nothing collectively, but it's pink, they'll like it. It's just so rude, it's unbelievable. But I think about Laura Kirk-Francis, that's who they should be bringing in to consult with. You think of Kendall Rowan, that's who they should be bringing in. You know, the Football Terrace very own queen in Anita, who I loved working with Anita. And Anita Abiyami, if you're wondering who I'm talking about, Google her, search her up. Started doing our panel shows years ago. Isn't really on the YouTube scene anymore. Has an amazing podcast called Gold Diggers, one of the best podcasts around, killing it in the industry, here, there, and everywhere. Almost become a bit of a socialite with it because of her popularity. But the reason she has this popularity, the reason that Anita gets these opportunities is because she knows her sport and speaks about it as good as anybody else. And of course, you have Maya Graham, who was early part of the Football Terrace, killing at the moment at TalkSport. And there are many other names out there, many other names out there that you can refer to. And I said earlier on when I started recording this that I've had loads of brilliant content creators who happen to be female. And for me, that's always been my approach. And this is where I might get cancelled. This is where I might get in trouble, but I'm going to say it as I see it. I don't look at anybody's immutable factors and go, I need to create a world that makes that person feel more included, more safe, more respected, other than to treat them like a human being. That is it. Not in any of my recruitment policies, not in how I make content. I'll speak how I speak, and I'll make things how I make things. But I'll never think, oh, do you know what? I'm going to do Killing the Game. I'm using red and black. Maybe if I use purple and pink and called it, the Hot Girl Walk podcast, maybe more women would tune in. I don't believe that would be the case whatsoever. I just don't. I don't go out my way and go, right, I need to have... I like female voices because I often think that men and women, as equal as we are, see things differently and often see things through a different light, and there's different temperament at times. And I love that. Again, that's the diversity I seek. But you just treat people as equals. You just treat people with respect and dignity and honesty. And why I think I'm right, and I might get some pushback on this, but I'm going to put this out anyway, and I'm not deleting it, is when I read so many comments across social media, the amount of people, male and female, all on board with this, who, by the way, I see often clash with each other on footballing opinions, are all together on this. And that, for me, is why when you look at the consensus here, I think to myself, well, I see a man here and a woman here that often disagree on their club, Chelsea, in full agreement on this. And it's huge to me. What Sky should be doing more of is making sure that women feel comfortable within their organization. They're given opportunities, whether it be in presenting, producing, editing, based on their merit. It should be more showcasing of women's sports on Sky Sports. Put as much money as you can into that. Put as much effort as you can into that. It doesn't need to be matcha, hot girl walks, more pink. There's nothing wrong with, I don't understand any of that. All right. There's nothing wrong with it. But make it about the sport. If you really do want new eyes watching sport, we want to be more attractive to young women, you've got to attract them to the sport, not just a weird phrase in pink that has no connection to the content. And that's just my view. But I feel content creators have got to stand up and talk about this. I really do. I don't care if you're male or female. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. But I thought this was wrong on every single level. And maybe they'll adapt. Maybe it will come better. They'll take this feedback on board. I'm sure they will, because I want it to work. I do think that they are doing this for the right reasons. But for me, it missed the mark on a massive, massive level. But I'd love to get your views and opinions. Can't wait to read them. And we'll speak to you all soon. Take care, people. Bye-bye.